I'm dressed up like this because I have a powerful guest on my couch.
We don't like them powerful.
And now, I said to myself, what will I wear to impress this woman? Because she's not easy to impress. Because she's seen it all. My guest today is Bukky George-Taylor.
Yeah.
Please put your hands together for my honorable guest. Now, Bukky is the CEO and founder of Robert Taylor Media. I don't know, I said media. We're not even started yet. He's also the founder of Crawl app. It's an amazing app where you get to live your best experiences in Lagos. Yeah, from restaurants to lifestyle to
art galleries, everything.
Tourism, art galleries.
Yeah.
Everything is on that app. Clubs, nightlife. I'm so happy that you founded that app.
Yeah, no, I'm excited.
Finally, we can be directed about our nightlife and everything we want to do. But it's so good to have you on. I was so worried that you were not going to come on because you're very busy.
I have cold feet, but then when you call me, then that's serious.
No, but
I don't play with you, so I knew that I would come.
Thank you so much.
But I had cold feet, and thank you for talking me out of that, because sometimes I need that.
Also, because I understand why you would probably have cold feet, but I mean, this is more about inspiring younger women and people who want to probably go the same path as you have done over the years. I know that you are so grounded. There's so many things that you do, but let's start with your journey as Bukky George-Taylor, right? So I remember one time we were speaking and you told me that you were in school in America and you had worked as a bartender.
A waitress, actually.
A waitress.
Yeah. It's one of my favorite summer jobs. So I went to school in Massachusetts and every summer I'd go to DC to go hang out with my cousin. And there was this black comedy club called Teddy Carpenter's House of Comedy. And I waitressed there. And I learned a lot doing that.
How old were you then?
17.
17?
Yeah.
Okay, 17. So you used to leave school like during holidays and how was it like? Is it the same way like where you waitress here in Nigeria, or is it a different experience?
You know what? There's a part of me that really wishes that waitressing and working in a restaurant or a bar here could be seen as something as a decent job. Really and truly, a lot of our university students can make some money from that for school and everything else. A lot of people are waitressing. A lot of people are working in the movie theaters, You want a waitress that can speak to you properly, present your menu, tell you what to drink, tell you what to eat, make suggestions. They should be somewhat very, very learned. So it is, and I think we're slowly getting there, to be honest. And if you've seen, Lagos is changing very, very quickly.
I agree.
We have a lot of very high-end spots coming up and a lot of fancy things going on. There's a lot more in the pipeline, some of which I'm privy to. And I don't think the whole country is really, really ready for what a lot of amazing people are creating.
Yeah.
So there's going to be a need for... We don't want a waitress. We don't want people to think that waitresses are house girls.
Yeah.
They're not. They're providing you a service. They're making you comfortable. They're your hosts for the evening, So, I mean, when I worked at Teddy Carpenter's House of Comedy, some of the rules were simple. We had to wear all black. Your face had to be made up. And you were not allowed to give out your phone number. You had to sign that you couldn't give out your phone number to a customer. So if a customer liked you, the only choice they had was to just keep coming back to the club and keep spending.
Wow.
Yeah. We had those rules that kind of protected the girls and stuff like that. You couldn't do that.
But were there girls who just tried to find
No, you couldn't. You'd be fired. No joke. You were not allowed to. We had to sign. We weren't allowed to give out phone numbers. It was a job. You had your section and you had to make sure you had to know how to sell. Here, our waitresses are still serving.
Yeah.
They need to understand that it's also marketing. You have to sell. So when a job like I had at Teddy's house, our salaries were so little. It was very, very small. Your money came from the amount of sales you could make. So this is not a situation where I've served a table and there's champagne in the bucket and it has finished and I'm going away. I'm there to convince you to buy more.
Because that's how you make your own money.
Because that's how I'm making my money. I have my 15% gratuity you are going, you have to buy. If you buy chicken wings, I'm going to ask you if you want some French fries and some nacho chips and a dip. Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
So at like 17, you already had this level of experience.
I learned it. I learned it from Teddy Carpenter himself.
What were you studying at the time?
I was studying African American history. I studied African American history with a minor in women's studies. Yeah.
So like when you were done with school, you now moved back to Nigeria to set up your business.
I moved to DC finally.
Oh.
I did a lot of work there, and then I moved to Canada. I lived in Winnipeg, Manitoba for about 8 years. And then I set up my company while I was in Winnipeg, Manitoba. Bukky Taylor Company was founded in Winnipeg, Manitoba, 2007, September 25th. And then by 2009, I was already coming back and forth.
Why did you decide to come back?
I put the information about my company out there. And I did, strategic ways to do that. I worked with the Future Awards for some stuff, and I've talked about this quite a bit. Mm-hmm. But I did strategically try to place my brand here because I eventually wanted to be here. And, the jobs kept coming. I think the first job that flew me to Lagos was D'Banj's launch of The Entertainer. I handled the PR for that. So,
by the time that you moved here, was PR already a thing here?
No, it wasn't.
So,
no.
Why were you so confident that you were going to make it here in Nigeria?
I thought I had something that nobody knew that they had. There were a lot of people doing amazing PR work, but they were calling themselves journalists.
Oh.
So there were people that were already here doing the work. But then we had the whole habit of, call it journalists to help me plug here, and here.
Okay.
No one was really thinking about the strategies behind all of these things and different ways to communicate and all of that. For example, I remember that I used to put my press releases on Facebook notes and tag all the journalists. That's how I used to put out my press releases on Facebook. People laughed at me. They thought it was a joke. But it was just the quickest way for me to get all this information out to all these journalists whose personal phone numbers and email addresses I didn't have at the time. And people were picking up stories. They were picking up stories.
I mean, so wait, let's talk about you moving back here and establishing Bukky Taylor. It's now called Robert Taylor, but it's not Robert Taylor. Bukky Taylor at the time. So when you came here, you came for the Entertainer, the launch of the album, right? Mm-hmm. It was a very green market. Like you were one of the first people who probably put it as an umbrella term, PR, right? How was it? How easy was it getting clients? How easy? Because you were young at the time as well. Because if Robert Taylor is 15 years now, as you said, you're probably 25-ish when you started. So at a 25-year-old who started a company that was not really a popular industry here, how did you navigate that space at the time? So
I think that, one of the most strategic things that I did was partnering with the Future Awards to handle the gift bags. The gift bags were provided by Bukky Taylor.
Right.
And inside those gift bags was a one-pager on what my company was about. And every winner received those gift bags. And in those gift bags, I had different things. House of Tara gave me a whole makeup kit thing. T.Y. Bello had just released an album. She autographed all of it. Mr. King shirts, Ekene Onu books. I just got a bag and filled it with all these amazing goodies. And my thing is, I want to be a sponsor and I'm giving all your winners the bags. So as they're calling the winners up on the stage, they're presenting the winners with Bukky Taylor bags. Right? And that's how I got my first phone call from D'Banj, was from the bags. So I think that's one of the most strategic ways that I introduced my brand into the market. Yeah. And honestly, I leverage very heavily on networking. This is Lagos and that's how it works. You have to network. Some people swear by their lives that, it's not by networking. You have to be very in your work. And when you can be very in your work and you can have that attitude after you finish the networking.
But that's a big part.
After you become a necessary evil, then you can. Right?
So you agree that networking is a big part?
It is huge. This is the city that we live in. You're not getting your legs into doors just based on what you studied in school and telling people that you're amazing. And you know that one of our quickest ways to travel information, or one of the quickest ways information travels here, is word of mouth.
True.
So you need somebody else to say you're good.
Yeah.
So you better network your way and get ready to do some good work so that the word can spread. Right? It's not by, billboards are great and everything else, but we rely heavily word of mouth. People are calling people every day for information. They would rather call and ask you who the best barber is that cut your hair as opposed to going to look through the list of barbers on the internet.
Yeah. Speaking of preparation for this space, right? I know that you deal with a lot of people in this space, especially men. And before I met you, I felt like you had this very tough exterior, right? When I see Bobby, like, this is not a joke. Like, I'm scared of. I'm not scared. I fear Bobby in that I'm not scared of what she will do to me, but I know not to cross Bobby. Do you understand that level
That's
of
terrible?
So it's more respect than no. Let me tell you why.
That's so bad.
No, Bobby. Let me tell you why. In this space, women can be relegated. Oh, she's a woman. They might cut her out of a deal. They might not respect her. A lot of women need to do extra.
Yeah.
To match up with the men in space. But you are one person.
But let me tell you the most amazing thing. I don't want to match up with any guy. I want to match up with myself, right? Yeah. So I've never seen myself in the field as being in competition with any of the guys. Mm-hmm. Take me for what I know how to do. As a matter of fact, don't pity me. I bet you that I can do my job too. I don't need a penis to do my job.
Say it again, please. We didn't hear that part.
True. I do not need a penis to do my job.
Yeah.
I can do my job by learning, by putting my best foot forward, by personal development. I can do my job based on so many things. And yes, it is true that in the industries that I've played in, even when it comes to, let's say, my work I've done in nightlife, lots of guys, are in that space.
Yeah.
Very few women. But you know what? I had it at the back of my mind that, Bukky, you doing any work in this space, it's very easy for anyone to label you any of the derogatory words that they call women when it comes to working in that space. But you're going to be professional and you're going to show them that this is business and that it is possible to be in business in that space. There is such a thing as the business of nightlife.
Though, because I know that these are your principles, but you will hit some like hard.
I won't lie to you. Every single time I've had to launch somewhere or put together the sickest guest list somewhere or get a venue deals with other brands and things like that, I have given that stuff 120%. My team and I, you're either coming in and showing out or go home. Once I do it once, I do it twice, 4, 5, 10, 20. What more do you want to prove? Call Bobby. She has a magic touch.
You know that became a thing in Lagos, right?
Call Bobby.
It's not a joke. Like, there was a time where call Bobby Taylor.
Yeah.
And they're still calling you up until these dates.
Call Bobby.
Let's quickly sip some Lipton. Yeah, thank you, Lipton, for keeping it refreshed and allowing us experience human connection. Let's talk about your life and how you moved from. You didn't exactly move, you just opened a new channel to your brand, right?
I think I self-discovered.
Right.
I think that I self-discovered the things that I'm really, really passionate about. And I found a way to utilize my passion to be impactful, to make money and all of those things. It's very easy to be all over the place. But then what's your true passion and how does it work for you? How are you living out that passion? And my main thing, and Lagos is so small. I mean, one person passes away today, God forbid, all of us know the person.
Yeah.
And it hits you.
Yeah.
It hits you. I've never seen in my life so many people that I know I've seen that have gone away.
Yeah.
When you're in the States, you don't know Bob who died down the street, right?
True.
You don't know who that is.
Yeah.
So because of that, I now realize that life is short. Everything that I want to do, I'm going to do it even if I fail. I swear.
It's a very tough resolve.
Yeah.
So
it might work, it might not, but I'm going to do it. Everything that I've ever wanted to do. There's nothing that I've wanted to do that I haven't really done.
Really?
Yeah.
So you're not scared about things failing and not going after them?
No.
So when things fail, how do you feel about yourself when...
I'm going back to say either this is not good for me or what is a better way of bringing this out? Or I take the crown and watch other people that will do it after me and succeed. And say, well, it's
a very good place to be with yourself.
Yes, of course. Proud of you. I tried that 3 years ago. I'm glad your time is working.
I'm very curious about what nightlife was there or hospitality was then and what it is now. What's the difference between
the difference with then and now is that the average Nigerian walking into a restaurant or a bar wants to feel like they've left the country. We're stressed. Meaning that as an owner of a restaurant or bar, you need to pay attention to even your decor. You are creating a space for us to come and spend our hard-earned money and sometimes money we don't even really have. You better do a good job. We care about service now. We care about how we're treated from the moment we walk through that door. We care if the road to your venue is bad. We care if your security says, welcome, madam. We care if you have valet parking if you're a nightclub.
Actually.
As a matter of fact, there's a lot of people that won't go to certain places that don't have valet parking. We don't want to park and walk. It's ruining our heels.
Wait, so this not like compass what they do.
Stop
too many
it,
things that you actually
but think about it. We have valet now.
Yes,
we didn't have valet
everywhere.
before.
Yeah.
You know, my boy, I won't put him out, but you know, he's done really, really well with valet. You know, that's happening. And then now there's a call for bottle girls. There's serving rituals now.
We like the
Are you kidding?
Everything.
I just saw this platform called Paparazzi.
Paparazzi Lagos.
Yes.
The guy.
Who is that guy?
That boy was a young dancer who I just know him back in school. From nowhere, I realized that he was doing this.
Wow.
It's amazing.
He is doing so well. So our agency reached out to him. We're like, listen, how much is it going to cost? Blah, blah. He gave us his fees. He's not cheap.
He's not cheap.
He's not cheap.
But
he specializes in taking those photos to show that you're going out. Nightlife, lifestyle.
The lifestyle is so good.
You know what I'm saying?
With it.
So a lot of jobs have come out of this stuff. You know what I mean? And as you've seen, there's a huge influx of even foreign-owned restaurants and stuff like that. We want to see more local. You know, but yeah, it is what it is, down to even people that make uniforms for people in that space. Yes.
So
you can't just wear your t-shirts and everything be running.
Emerged.
A whole industry. And which is the reason why my app would make sense now than before. Think about it. We're even slowly moving into a reservation-only environment.
Yes.
It's coming.
It's crazy.
Yes. So it's time for pre-booking. You are not walking into Slow without that booking. Well, you can, but
no, because
you know,
crazy.
people are more comfortable. Everyone's asking for reservation numbers now.
How did you think that an app was going to be the next thing? Because I've gone through the app. It's brilliant.
Yes.
But why do you think that tech was the next thing?
I think this stemmed from people calling me and asking me where to go. And people calling me and asking me to make reservations for them. I have people calling me saying, Bukky, I just called a restaurant and they're fully booked. I need you to get me a table. And I'm like,
because you're that girl.
I said, but it's fully booked. They're like, Bukky, this night is important to me. Make it happen. And I'm like, okay, auntie. And then I'm calling the owner and I'm like, you got to create a table for me, man. These guys are the type of, this is now where I'm selling the person to the owners of the restaurant. I'm like, you want her in your space. She's the kind of person that needs to be seen in your space. And they're like, you know, Bukky, we're sold out, but for you, blah, 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 X, Y, and Z is done. And I call
But it always makes exceptions for you, right?
Well, kind of.
Because you're a Bukky.
Yeah. Kind of.
Because they trust you, right, Bukky?
They trust my audience. They trust the guest list. It's true. They trust it.
So how have you over the years, right, created this guest list, these people where you know who are the people to invite for this? You know that if you call one auntie in Ikoyi, this is where she wants to go to. Why is it over the years you've become this person who everybody wants to go to for this lifestyle and
networking
things?
And trusted work? It's not more than that. If you deliver over and over again, even if you don't deliver, but you know how to manage that kind of a situation, people will trust your work. That's why I tell people to really, really invest in themselves and invest in personal development so that you know what you're doing, you know what you're talking about, so that you're a trusted brand. There is such a thing as being a trusted individual brand. It's not just trusted brand that, does X, Y, and Z. Your person. People know that I like enjoyment. So if I say you guys have to check this out, they would trust that I'm actually telling them to come somewhere.
Speaking of winning, Crawl app is winning.
I love that app. I love it.
I love it for you.
No, see, I'm sorry. I'm not bragging at all. I love Crawl. Crawl is so dope.
It is.
I'm telling you. The fact that you can open the app and see a beautiful landscape of our entire city, changing the entire narrative, opening our city to tourism, even to local tourism.
Small for tourism.
Gone are the days where you want to book a table at a club and you need to know the manager. Why? What's the booking number? And this is what the app is doing for you. Everybody's number is there. Descriptions. When we started the app, a lot of places didn't have descriptions. A lot of the places I sent forms to said, I'm a restaurant in VI. I'm like, no, I can't put that on the app. That tells me nothing. What are you known for? Tell me one dish everybody keeps ordering. Say, madam, is our chicken wings? Oh, they love it. I'm like, good. You're a restaurant in VI that's known for the best chicken wings in the city.
That's your narrative.
You have to know how to sell it.
Wow.
Talk to me. Don't tell me you're a restaurant in VI. So is everyone else. How do you stand out? That's what I want to hear. So a lot of the places I ended up writing the descriptions for, which is what took me 2 years. A lot of the places didn't have photos. A lot of places. Now, anybody that comes to me, Bukky, I want you doing it. I'm like, you have to do a space shoot. You have to do that photo shoot. You have to do a food shoot. We now have food photographers. Yes.
Open up another.
Listen to me. We now have food photographers.
Yes.
We even have people that create cocktails. Burge. I mean, they're doing all of this amazing stuff. It's opening. Yeah. It's opening. We're getting there. It's just that I don't think anyone, I should write an article maybe.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone has just put everything together in one space to say that.
That's what you're doing.
You guys, we are ready for tourism. Just fix our airport. That's all we're saying. That's all we're saying.
But Bobby, it's so interesting that until you showed me this app, I didn't realize how much we needed one app.
There's 120 different locations on the app. So even down to arts and culture section of the app, it shows you the beautiful terra culture.
Yeah.
We have plays, guys. You can do dinner and a play. We have things going on. There's yoga at Moist. You can do yoga on the beach. Know that.
Because it's so funny when people say, oh...
We have all of these things.
Because when my friends tell me they're coming to Nigeria, I say, to do what? Because beyond...
We have so much.
But
there's people surfing. We have surfing. I mean...
In this Lagos?
Yes. In Takwa Bay. What do you want? What do you exactly want? Amala should be seen as a thing, an experience as well. Orile is amazing with Amala. Knock is amazing with Amala.
Yeah, they are.
And our polo club is amazing with Amala. If you can get in. Sorry.
But Bobby, how do people rise to this occasion? How do you rise to the point where, you can get into the polo? Because if on this app, the polo club is there, how am I going to get into this app?
So polo is not on the app because obviously, it's not necessarily open except a member and all of that. Go network if you have to. But I'm just saying, there are things to do. The shrine is an experience. There's no reason, if 5 of us decided now that we're going to the shrine, it will be the most epic night and we'll have crazy stories to tell tomorrow morning. Kalakuta Museum. Who doesn't want to come into the country and you've heard, you guys abroad, you've watched Fela on Broadway. And you don't want to see Fela's music? Of course, that's one of the places you want to go to. Even having a woman as iconic as Mama from Nike Art Gallery. That's the whole thing. And if you look at how we describe Nike Art Gallery on the app, it says, and if you are lucky, you might meet its iconic founder. And then we write her name.
Because she's part of the tourism of that place.
She is.
She's going to tell you those
She has one of the most, God knows how many collectors, so much going on in this city. You'd be shocked. You'd be shocked. And this app has put everything together. My favorite part of the app is the calendar. You want to see what's happening in Lagos every single day? Just fly everywhere with details and phone numbers and information.
So how does it work now? Do they reach out to you now to say, I want to be part of this? How do you get the information to put on the app? How do restaurants register?
So people are registering. They're signing up for the year. And, your yearly subscription involves unlimited flyers. We're getting information from everywhere. Amazing. And we're partnering with quite a few people. We partner with OB for OB's House on Mondays.
How does that partnership work?
Okay, so you've seen the top of the app where there's videos and everything. If you go on the app right now, it's OB's House. I think a recap of last year or something, or last time. That's what's on there. And it plays on them. People spend time watching those videos at the top. In December, we had Ralph Lauren advertise on the app at the top. For Ralph's Club.
Amazing.
Yeah. So it's the eyeballs as well. And it's people watching and all of that stuff.
But also, I feel like you've also created the kind of people that go on the app, right? I feel like you've created like the audience. So not everybody can just go in. Like you have to have a referral code.
So we kind of, initially, you would sign up on the app, we'll put you on a waiting list, and then we would vet and blah, blah, blah. And then we decided, okay, not a good idea. Let's look at how Clubhouse did their stuff. Let people refer their friends. You know what I mean? And it's worked pretty well. And very soon, the more friends you refer, you start to acquire coins. And your coins are going to give you deals around the city. That's my next movement right now. I'm calling all the restaurants and all the bars and I'm saying, you guys, what are you giving our customers? People are patronizing you. What is for free? What's the discount? Why should they keep coming back? If I have 10 points on my Crow app because I've referred 10 friends.
What do I get?
What do I get for that?
That's wild. You're back.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Bobby, you're back.
I love it.
So let's talk about your comms bits. We know that you are great at hospitality and you have really, really helped that industry. But let's talk about comms. You've done corporate comms for different organizations and you've been in this space for a while. What is the thing that inspires you to do more for your clients? Because there was a time where if you needed comms for anything in Lagos, they would say, call Bobby. You became the face of comms. Like, before I knew what comms were, PR was, or comms and PR was, it was your name, Bobby Taylor, that was always coming to mind. What was the sell that you had that the other people didn't have at the time? Or the people that were coming after you?
Honestly, I just think I was a walking billboard. Honestly. Because you guys called me Bobby. Nobody called me Bukky.
True.
So every time you said Bobby Taylor, now everything will stick. I think I was a walking billboard. I think that's all that was. And then, of course, maybe coupled with the fact that I showed my work and all of that stuff. I think that's probably why. And which is why personal branding is very, very important. Because I'll tell you, being called Bobby Taylor tired me out. I got tired of it.
Wow.
And there you have the rebrand to Robert Taylor Media. And there you have me going back to my name that my daddy gave me. Which is Bukky George-Taylor.
It's like
sometimes when people call me Bobby, I'm like, oh, my name is Bukky.
I saw that your story where you said the name is Bukky.
Yeah. I'm like, my name is Bukky. No, because I'd heard somebody talking and making reference to me and they're like, Bobby Taylor? I know Bobby Taylor. Something I'm like,
tomorrow.
I'm like, who's that? There's a person that's evolved that's just very different right now. And that's just kind of what I want. And it goes into, again, like I said, the importance of personal branding. This is one of the hottest sellers right now in the comms industry. Everybody wants to stand out.
True.
Everybody wants to be seen as a thought leader in their industry.
True.
Everybody wants and cares about their personal brand. You know, I've seen different MDs of companies that have done amazing work for the past 20 years with a particular organization and they're resigning and there's nothing on them anyway. Meanwhile, they've made some of the greatest transformations. They've done very impactful things that impacted the society and all of that. Nowhere. You retire, you're forgotten.
That's it.
There's now a need to almost immortalize people's work and people's names positively. As a matter of fact, it's from personal branding that when crisis happens to you, that you're able to bounce back.
Yeah.
Because you have a history of being a certain way and doing certain things. You know what I mean?
So
it
from
helps.
the beginning, you have to be
It doesn't
strategic.
save you, but it helps.
Yeah. So from the beginning, you're saying that every brand has to be strategic about their placements. I
don't think everybody, I think you have to work to the point where you are strategic about it. Because you can't come today, let's say I decide today that I want to be a musician. I've not launched one album and you guys have never heard my song, but I want to personally brand myself as the best music. It's not going to work. I keep telling people no amount of PR will save you if you're not good.
True.
None.
True.
Forget it. You might enjoy the wave temporarily, but eventually the fluff will be exposed, if that makes any sense.
And because Lagos is such a cruel place where word of mouth is a thing.
It is a thing.
By the time you do it 1 time, 2 times, they don't talk about amongst themselves.
Yeah,
no,
done.
Person.
Can cancel you.
And it's so hard to even get back after you've been cancelled.
Yeah, it is. We're very unforgiving.
Quite.
Very, very unforgiving. Look at how we decide to abandon a restaurant or something. We leave. And you have to rebrand and change your name.
And everybody
your furniture.
Will move on.
And we're leaving.
Even this location has changed.
You have to go away and come back. We're very, very difficult people to please. I feel very, very bad, and I do sympathize with a lot of business owners because their customers are difficult to please. Everybody in Lagos is somebody.
Yes, sir.
No. Everybody is somebody.
Everybody.
We're tough to please. And sometimes it's important that we think about the business owners and know that these guys are also trying their best.
Because running a business in Lagos is hectic.
It's tough. It's tough. I always tell people, your HR has to be on point, your lawyer has to be on point, and your accountant has to be on point.
How do you even find staff? Because there's some people who are great at their businesses, but their staff, they're killing them. You can have a vision about your brand and what you want to do with yourself and your business, but you can have terrible staff that will run your business aground.
Right.
So how do you...
For me, that has to do with structure as well. Once you're able to structure your business, and by the time you understand what your brand is about, there are just certain people that won't even pass it through, or that won't pass through
the door
to come into the business because they don't align. It's not a good fit, if that makes any sense.
But do you admit that across board, women have to do a little more?
Of course. We always have to do a little more. We've always had to do a little more. We're juggling home. We're juggling family. And then, do you know the amount of hours we put in at home? Talk less about work. It's very, very heavy. And that's why people should be very, very accommodating, especially when it comes to women, because us showing up in the workplace is not all our life is about.
Yeah. You've already dealt with your home.
You're a guy, you go out in the workplace and you come home, she's cooked for you. Y'all ain't cooking for us.
We did cook now. We did cook now. We employ chef now to make things. But I understand.
I mean, it's just so much. And then you talk about, having children and then struggling to be the best mother. There's no guilt, or there's nothing that will make a woman feel more guilty than if she felt she was being a bad mother. You want to be the best mom, but you're also working at the same time, and you're juggling all of these things. And you get to work and you're doing the same role with a male and you're getting paid less. And there's all of these things.
It's crazy.
Even down to our artists, female artists performing on stage compared to the guys, they're paid less. And then we're constantly trying to prove ourselves, and, it's just gotten to a point where it's like, listen, just pay me because I'm good. Leave everything else. Just listen, do you like the work? Just pay me for that. And pay me whatever you would pay a guy that had 2 balls if he was just as good with the same kind of job. Pay me the same thing.
But do you think it's changing now with, I think we're becoming very woke. Social media is helping as well. We're beginning to know what is important, how much women
We have voices now. I think we've always had a voice. I mean, there's been a lot of iconic women with great voices, but I mean, social media is just amplifying those voices. We are very vocal. We know what we deserve. And I think that we're getting to a point where we know what we deserve. We're not trying to play ball with the boys. We just want to do what it is that we do and be compensated or appreciated for just that.
So that's a good narrative. Yeah. You're not trying to really compete with the men. You just want a place in this space.
Just put me right there and give me what I deserve, regardless of if I'm male or female. What I'm saying to you is, you're telling me that this job here is $90,000. If I'm a woman, I want 90. If the other person is a man, give him that 90. Don't give him 120 and give me 90. Because the execution
still the same.
Is there, regardless. You know, the only time at what point you give me 90 is if I'm not doing a great job and, I'm 2 seconds of being thrown out the door. But other than that, once I deliver, give me for what it's worth.
Please put your hands together for Bukky. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
I hope that I can have you on other episodes or other seasons.
Yeah, definitely. And I think it's just anything. Yeah, you know how we always do when we get together.
Yes. I hope that we can.
Yeah, and I think it's a good time. I'm glad Women's Month is coming. I'm going to be talking on different shows and different webinars. And, I think that, it's good to celebrate the women.
Yeah.
They've done a lot of work.
Phenomenal work, yeah.
At the same time, embracing their femininity and at the same time, trying to be soft, even though, it's hard.
To be tough.
So, yeah. No, it's exciting. Thank you for having me. I'm glad I came.
Thank you for coming. Just one word for a young girl who's probably trying to be like you right now, who's saying, oh, wow.
I don't think anyone should try to be like me, because I think that everyone's path is really, really written for them. So I think everyone should be trying to be the best version of themselves. And which is what I always tell people, the more you look at somebody else and say, I want to be like that person, you lose track.
Yeah.
You want to be like you, what God has set out for you and what your path is. So what I would tell any woman who wants to be the best version of herself is, know your onions. Self-development and personal development is big. Just learn as much as you can. I would say travel. Open up your mind. Travel, even if it's within Africa. Even if you have to count your coins for how long, do that. If you want to take a road trip on the train to Ibadan, do that. I think that a lot of young women need to find themselves, what their passion points are, what really makes them tick. The best kind of jobs to go to are the jobs that you love doing. It's stressful when you're going to a job that you don't enjoy doing. You can tell on your mental health, it can do all sorts of things.
Look at this.
Let's say job
thinking
here.
About her life. My producer just like, do I really like this? But thank you so much.
And then, of course, believe in yourself and give it 101% and normalize falling down. It's not possible to climb forever. Normalize falling down. It's okay. It's just a sign that you need to stop. Stop.
Recalibrate.
Go back. Do it this other way.
Thank you. Even me, I don't collect that advice for myself. Thank you so much, Bobby.
You're welcome. Call me Bukky. You just call me Bonky.
Sorry. Thank you so much, Bukky.
Thank you.
George-Taylor, for coming on my couch.
Anytime. Cheers and thank you for Lipton.
Let's get some Lipton in.